48 minutes past 7 o'clock in the morning. A very good morning once again. My name is Priva Endibaz. You're watching Sunrise at Sea. Welcome to Twitter Jabs 2. And the conversation, of course, continues just like we were discussing on our Twitter Jabs 1 in regards to the post-Kenyan elections and how they went down. So we did give a coverage of how it happened yesterday. But sitting with me down today in studio is Miss Jen Nalunga, who is the Executive Director for SEETVSunrise, which is the Southern, Eastern and Eastern Africa Trade Information and Negotiations Institute. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Priva, and thank you so much for having me.
I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So my very first question, as a trade institute, how have the Kenyan elections impacted the regional trade, especially in the East African region?
The impact hasn't been so much because it's just that there has been reduced movement of goods and people at the border. You know, there has been reported cargo that, you know, the cargo trucks haven't been as many as they were before elections, because there is a lot of jittery, you know, people don't know, you know, things can go either way. And we have seen way back, was it 2015, what happened? 2005, you know.
2007.
Yes, what
2007,
happened,
yes.
you know. So people have been cautious, especially the business people. So there has been reduced trade. And you know that northern corridor from Mombasa, that's the biggest corridor, which brings in a lot of, you know, goods, and which also takes a lot of goods. We have the southern corridor, that's through you know, Dar es Salaam.
Yes.
But I don't know whether it's because of enough. I don't know, but it isn't as busy as the northern corridor. And you know, the northern corridor passes through Uganda, then to DRC, then Rwanda. So it's really a busy route. So anything happens, it affects the EAC trade. And I know a number of business people have been affected, you know.
Especially at the border points.
Even the border, but even the goods coming through, you know, because if you know my truck is coming in and doesn't come for a whole week or 2 weeks, you know, you are losing money. So there has been, you know, that disturbance, that uncertainty in business. But also, when the cargoes are few, the cargo trucks, that means even taxes, government collection of taxes at the border also goes down.
Yes.
So it has also affected, you know, the resource mobilization revenue collection at the borders.
Yes. Well, normally people usually say that Kenya is Uganda's supermarket. Do you believe that saying is real? Kenya is Uganda's supermarket. Do you believe that is real? I think many of them do factor in the fact that we are a landlocked country. We don't, we import more than we export.
That's true. That's true when you look at our trade with Kenya. You know, when you find most of the value-added products in the supermarkets are from Kenya. But we also trade with Kenya. Most of the food, you know, the maize, the beans, the pineapples. In fact, you go to a Kenyan market, you know, they separate, these are Uganda pineapples, and they sell more, you know. So we export to Kenya, except that most of our exports are not value added, and that's why we are running a trade deficit with Kenya, you know. But we do trade, and we value our trade with Kenya. You know, even the eggs, you remember all those trade wars. In fact, if there is a problem in Kenya, you know, our agriculture will suffer. And I think that's why the issue of peace within the region should be an issue for all of us. You know, somebody was asking me, why should somebody on the street in the village care about what's going on in Kenya?
Yes.
And I said, no, our maize, you know, because what will happen if there's a problem in Kenya, the middlemen, you know, those people who go to the villages and buy will say, Kenya, have you heard what's happening
What's
in
happening
Kenya?
there, yes.
Your maize is not going to go anywhere. So the maize price will go down. So Kenya is an important market for us.
When it comes to Uganda.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to pick your mind on the general overlook when it comes to us trading with Kenya. Do you think it's going to get better with the new government that is going to come on board?
Yeah, I think it's going to get better. And what I have realized about Kenya, you know, they just even their elections, what you have been discussing before we started this program, you know, Kenya has moved a little, you know, not a little really, you know, there is a lot we can learn.
They've made significant steps,
Strides,
yes.
Yes, in the elections, in the maturity of the country, the way they handle issues. And what I have also realized that on the economic angle, you know, they look at the economy, you know,
yes.
the economy, and they have separated the economy from the politics. Because even when they were campaigning in the electoral fever, they signed a great agreement with China over cattle. Avocados are going, you know, and you can see that for them politics is not the end and, you know, everything. So that separation of the politics, the politicking, and the economy is great. So for me, I don't think there will be any problem when it comes to trade.
It should actually be better. It will get
better.
It will
get better, you know, because they are aware that Uganda is one of their biggest trading partner. They need our market. They need our products. We need their market, and that maturity also. For me, that's what, apart from their politics, which has also matured, but their economics has really, really matured. They have gone out to make agreements, to trade, because, for example, like now their deal with China, great, you know. They are taking avocados, so many of them. They have negotiated even the taxes. They have, you know, negotiated a very good price, you know. So that kind of maturity, that you don't put all your eggs within the politicking, you are not doing anything. So when it comes to the economics, you know, for me, the economy, I know they are going also to up their game.
Yes.
And it's up to us as Ugandans to up our game, you know, to be able to ensure that we are also trading.
How would we be able to achieve that, Miss Jen, as Ugandans? Yes, getting to the level that Kenya has reached economically.
For me, I think we have all the raw materials to do that. You know, it's just the will and the capacity to think outside the box, you know, and to think broader and bigger. You know, take an example of this deal with China. They started way back in 2019, you know, and China was insisting we want frozen avocados, frozen below, is it 38, minus 38 degrees and all that. The taxes were high, and they continued negotiating. Then they went into signing agreements until they reached a level to say, okay, we are allowing fresh avocados, you know. So now an avocado has risen from 2 Kenya shillings to 100, you know, and government has put in money to ensure that they comply. The entire value chain from the farmer complies to the standard set by China. You know, they have put money in warehousing, you know, and that's the thinking we need to have, you know. But we think small, you know. You look at PDM, Parish Development Model. Yes. People are going to produce what? Where is that produce going to go? Where?
The market hasn't been created yet for the produce. You
start from the market. You start from the market, you negotiate the market conditions, the quality, the quantity, the taxes, you know, the packaging. Then you say, okay, we can do it. Then you mobilize. Kenya has licensed 15 companies to be able to trade, you know. So you can see that kind of thinking, that kind of determination. But what I know, the market is there. But our problem is that disjointed planning and actions. There you are doing PDM, Parish Development Model, produce. This way the market is not there. Then you produce things which go to the market and they say take them back. We don't want them. And this has happened with the European market. The EU told us bring everything but arms. But until Uganda said, you know, EU told us, please don't use those pesticides. We don't want them. The quality is so poor. Nothing was done. Until they told us, next time you do it, never bring your things here. We went into a self-ban. We said, okay, let us put our house in order. So it's that lack of planning. But when you look at globally what's happening, the Ukraine war, in fact, we should be celebrating that the Ukraine war happened, because Ukraine was the food basket of even African countries.
You know, especially for things like wheat,
sunflower, soya beans, sujui what, things which will grow here. We should be saying, okay. You see what happened in Addis, in Ethiopia? They are mobilizing to grow rice. Rice fields, big, you know. That's what we should be thinking.
An effect of the Russia-Ukraine war.
Exactly, you know. And this is what Kenya is thinking. So it's that thinking where you separate the politicking and the economics.
The economics. I know you did mention on the fact that as Uganda we have raw materials, but do we have a better chance actually moving ahead in trade via agriculture, or actually trading in these raw materials as a trade expert?
You see, sometimes it's better you start with the raw materials. I know our president, and it's true, he says we export jobs. The moment you export raw materials, you are exporting your jobs, because it would, when you add value, you create those backward and forward linkages between production, industrialization. You are creating jobs, then you export. But at the beginning, it would be better to secure markets for those raw materials. As you secure, you negotiate markets for value-added products. Because value-added products, the moment you continue adding value, even the taxes where you're exporting go up. But even the standards become more stringent and higher. Take an example of avocado. Avocado, you can be able to get oil, you know, out of it,
yes.
You know. But maybe China wants another type of oil. So at the beginning, negotiate the raw avocado. Build momentum around that, you know. Because at the end of the day, what you want is to put money in the pockets of the people, you know.
Yes.
And also in the pockets of government coffers. So you start with that, you know, where you are looking at developing the value chain, oil, negotiating what kind of oil do you want, you know, because even the machinery, you know. So, and that's what we should do for all our products, even coffee, you know. You remember the coffee debate,
yes,
you know,
yes.
saying we need to add value, you know. Let us first make sure that the whole world knows Uganda has good coffee. Let us export that. Why we are negotiating for the value added. Because value added products are very, they are specialized. Take an example of coffee. People will say, I want medium roast, dark roast, white roast, you know. It isn't easy. But let us go step by step. And this is what Kenya has done.
Kenya has in place. Yeah. Well, as we are still struggling as a country, as we are still struggling with the high cost of living, do the elections in Kenya actually pose a threat in case of any election violence, post-election violence? Yeah,
in case. In that unlikely event,
yes.
That's what they say on in that unlikely event, you know, this happens. But we are praying that, you know, things don't escalate, you know, that there is peace. That's what we are praying for. Because if there is no peace, you know, of course we are going to suffer.
Trade will
because
be affected.
already fuel, you know, fuel prices, you see they are high. And believe you me, if there is a problem there, even the fuel which is here, people will increase the price, you know. And the moment fuel increases, you know, things are bad.
Yes.
But even things coming in, you know, we depend on that. And I think that's why we need to diversify our being land linked or landlocked.
Yes.
We need to diversify our routes to the border. And Tanzania is building a level line, you know, SGR line to Rwanda, and I think to Burundi and also to Lake Vic, you know. So it's a matter of also Uganda to up our game when it comes to the water transport.
Yeah.
So we need to diversify that. So if anything happens to Kenya, we okay. If anything happens to Tanzania, you know, we have those alternative routes.
Okay.
And I think those are things which we should be discussing, not when there are elections in Kenya, but as a matter of, you know, priority as a country.
Well, we see that actually the Kenya's shilling has weakened to a record low against the dollar, widening its fall since the start of the year to about 5.7%. And it has actually caused supply dry-ups and rising demand for imports. How does that affect us as Ugandans?
I don't think it should affect us. Maybe also in terms of you know, goods which are produced in Kenya, maybe going up, but I haven't seen them going up. But also the exchange rate, you know, it varies, you know, depending on so many reasons, so many factors. But also because of the elections, a number of people are not, you know, they are just keeping quiet, putting their money in the bank, you know. So there is no, you know, there hasn't been a lot of trading, you know. In Kenya, everybody is saying, let us watch and see. Goods haven't been coming into the, you know, they reduced a little bit on the Mombasa port. You know, for example, we are talking to some business people here, and people are saying, you know, we just said we are not bringing goods from China or Dubai to the Mombasa port, let us wait, you know. So there has been that reduction in businesses, so of course it must have affected the Kenya.
Okay, it doesn't necessarily affect us as Ugandans.
I don't see it affecting us. But again, the effect is that goods are not coming in here. You know, you talk to people in Chikubo, people in Nakasero there, they are saying business has gone down, you know, because some of them, they haven't been bringing in products.
Well, so to an ordinary Ugandan businessman or a businesswoman, could this now be a safe time to actually invest or import goods, even from Kenya? Could it be the best time?
Not really, but you see, for me, I see
since they are on high demand and they're not
Kenya election
necessarily
as just a phase, you know. It's a phase, and we are hoping that things will be better, you know, things will normalize, you know, because even if you say we are going to import from Kenya now, the border, it will be difficult, you know, for cargo trucks also, because like I said, there is a reduction in cargo trucks coming from
Kenya side.
From Kenya side. So what I would advise business people is to hold on. Let us wait and see and pray, you know, hope for the best, you know, and hope that the Kenya politics has really matured. I was in Nairobi the other week, last week, yeah? And it was normal. And we went to Kibera, and people were saying, you know, why should I fight my neighbor just because there is a problem there, you know? If I lose my small business, it's me to suffer, you know, not those big people, you know. So there is that kind of maturity, you know, and we hope that that's what it will continue and things will, you know, will normalize. And what's also what I liked about the Kenyan politics, about this transition, even the current sitting president, you saw him cutting the cake, saying he's packing up to leave State House.
He's happy, yes, happy to leave and retire.
Exactly, he's happy to retire.
Yes.
You know, that also gives hope. So my advice to business people, let us hold on, it's just a phase, and we move on with our business.
Oh, okay, how about the businessmen who actually want to export, take things to Kenya? Is it the right time, or they still need to wait?
Let them wait. Let them wait a little bit. But it's just a phase, just 2 days. When are they supposed to announce? It was
the what?
The deadline, the day for announcing the election results.
It's going to be 16th August next week.
16th.
Yes.
It's just next week, you know. So let us, but also let us pray that there is no, they don't repeat. There is no
a repeat of 2007.
No, that because if there is a tie, you know, then they have that run of a rerun. So let us hope there is no rerun, you know. Let us just wait. For me, that's the advice.
The advice that you would give. People. Okay. Well, what are some of your final parting shots?
My final parting shots is that we need to learn lessons. We need to learn lessons from Kenya. For me, I also congratulate Kenyans and Kenya. The Kenya government, there is a lot to learn, you know, the inclusiveness. We saw people here at the Kenya embassy lining up to vote. That's inclusiveness, you know. Our people in the diaspora should vote, because when you look at our the remittances from people from outside,
yes,
they are even far higher. 2019, I was looking at 2019, the remittances were $1.4 billion. Export coffee was 496 million shillings. You compare, you know. So let us give our people a vote. They need to have a say. The prisons people, yes, also voted. So it's that inclusiveness, but also the face within their electoral system, it has also gone up. But ours here, you know, let us increase that trust in those systems. But my parting shot, let us learn what's happening in Kenya. Let us all learn how they have handled their politics and their economy.
Actually, before I let you go, Ms. Nalunga, let's talk briefly about the high cost of living of Ugandans happening right now. As someone who is well conversant with the Southern and East African trade, do you think there's any chance or any possibility that as Ugandans we're going to be out of this situation sooner than later?
Yeah, it also depends on how we plan. It goes with planning, because when you planning is like sowing a seed. When you sow a seed, you have hope that if I water it very well, it can grow.
It can grow.
Okay. Our hope, when you look at government's planning, is in the parish development model. Let us wait and see. But for me, my advice is that we need to link it up to the market. The market should come first and work backwards. You know, so hope to get out of this situation is in planning, actual planning. And for me, I believe we can trade our way out of this situation. We have the land. The weather is a little bit tricky, but I know things will change. But we need to have clear markets, negotiated markets. And for me, I know Ugandans are very hardworking.
Oh, yes.
You tell them maize is so much. You saw these young people on borders, they will go back to the village too. You tell people moringa, and people grow moringa. You tell people chigaji, they grow aloe vera. You tell people these silkworms, women fear caterpillars. But I remember way back, they told them that, you know, silkworms, there is money. And you could see a woman who fears caterpillar, growing caterpillars. But we need to organize, to be organized.
Yes,
and let us, you know, that example of avocado and, you know, China and Kenya. That's a clear example, you know, that we can be able to negotiate a product. They call them product agreements, because trade is about a market, a specific market and a specific product. And for me, I think we can be able to do it and get out of this poverty.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Miss Jane Nalunga, the Executive Director of SEETVSunrise, which is the Southern and Eastern Africa Trade Information and Negotiations Institute. Thank you so much for sharing so much wisdom with us today, and actually giving us a better insight when it comes to trade in relation, I beg your pardon, to the Kenyan elections that are underway, if we could put it that way.
Thank you so
much.
Well,
the conversation continues on our social media platforms, that is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SEETV Uganda. And of course, we'll be bringing you more information in our subsequent bulletins. And of course, that's going to be later on at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. My name is Priva Elibaz. This is Sunrise at Sea. Don't blink.